Reporting to the media this week at Post Executive Council Media Briefing is the Secretary in the Division of Education, Youth Affairs and Sport, Assemblyman Hughie Cadet, and the Secretary with responsibility for Community Development and Culture, Councillor Dr. Denise Soyafat Angus.
Let me, of course, begin by congratulating all of the students, the 836 students who would have taken the SCA in May here in Tobago, and extend congratulations to all of them who, of course, would have been successful and been placed at various secondary schools across the island, and some, of course, also in Trinidad based on their choices. Just a reminder, we would have had 836 students taking the exam this year, with a total of which is down from the total of last year, which was 899. We had more boys taking the exam this year, 446 boys, as opposed to 390 girls. The top student for 2015 is Miss Deborah Amata from Signal Hill Government. Deborah's score was a total of 238.298. That was the overall score. The student who came first in Trinidad and Tobago, total score was 243.798. Of course, still a difference of 5.5. Well within the slight difference over what we had last year, gap last year. Last year, the top student nationally and the top Tobago student, the difference was 5.233. So, of course, Tobago continues to keep well within the national reach, of course, because the percentile is recurring decimal. That's the gap between why there's 1 and, of course, 100, 200, and what have you. So, of course, we want to extend congratulations to young Miss Amata and the principal and staff at the Signal Hill Government Primary School. Top 10 placement, of course, is no unusual occurrence at Signal Hill. They've had, over the years, top 1 finisher and, of course, top 10 finishers. In terms of the highest performing of the top 10 schools, 3 are located on the outskirts of Scarborough, and I'll go now to give you a list of the schools, the top 10 schools this year. First, the top student came from Signal Hill Government, followed by St. Nicholas Private Primary. Then Scarborough RFC had 3rd. Scarborough RFC also had the 6th place, the 7th place, the 8th place, and the 10th place. Patience Hill Government had the 4th place student. Belgarden Anglican continues to perform well, and they had the 5th place student. And Hope Anglican, again, in the top 10, had the 9th place student. Just to announce the names, of course, Deborah Amata from Signal Hill Government, 1st place overall. Shane Telesford was our top boy from St. Nicholas Private Primary. This one is a bit challenging. I was not at the christening, but I think it's Jade Nikome at Scarborough RC, 3rd place. Elrica Brisbane at Patience Hill Government. Ashwana Baptiste at Belgarden Anglican. Rihanna Walker, Scarborough RC at 6th. Sophia Gay in 7th place at Scarborough RC. Lillian Rigi at Scarborough RC in 8th. Jared Koshi, Hope Anglican in 9th. And Christian Baumgartner at Scarborough RC in 10th. In terms of the top 20 SCA students, the ratio in terms of boys to girls was 7 boys and 13 girls in terms of the top the ratio. I want to speak, here's some additional information as it relates to the top 20 places. The 11th place was Jada Edwards from Scarborough RC. Dejan Rousseau from Shirley, SCA Prep class was 12th. Mikhail Reed from Signal Hill Government was 13th. Kofi Macmillan from Shirley's SCA Prep was 14th. Sydney Villarreal, Buku Government was 15th place. Samuel Ramlochan, North Regional SD, where we had the winner, the top student, coming out last year. Shanice Balfour, Scarborough RC, 17th. Jai Alfred, Signal Hill Government, 18th. Abriel Baines, Wim American, 19th. And Shivel KD's, Scarborough Methodist, 20th position. In terms of persons scoring above and below those key percentiles, we are pleased to indicate that above 90% in 2014, we had 21 students. In 2015, we have a slight increase of 23 students. Above 60%, in 2014, we had 57.6% of the students taking the exam, or about 518 students, scoring above 16%, and it was our intention this year to increase that significantly, and we have done that. We now have 76.3% of the students taking the exam this year scored above 60%. Above 50%, we had in 2014 75.5% with 679 students. This year, above 50%, we had 89.7%. Or 715 students. We also would have indicated last year that one of our goals with SCA this year was to get to the point where we had no students scoring below 30%. I'm pleased to announce that while we didn't achieve 0, we came very close to it. Last year, we had 40 students scoring below 30%. This year, we have 6 students scoring below 30%, which I think is a significant achievement, and I want to commend, of course, all of the principals, the school supervisors, and the staff, the teachers at the various schools who were part, of course, those remedial teachers we brought in, who were part of a very targeted strategy to get the number of students under 30% to the numbers that we have this year. And as I said, the division is working assiduously to ensure that we get no students below 30%. So again, I want to extend congratulations on behalf of all of the division, in particular, to all of our students who would, of course, been successful in the 2015 edition of the SCA exam. I also want to speak, if I can move on now, to our vocation experience program that the division would be having during the July-August period. As part of our vocation experience period, a number of camps will be held. The first of those camps will be a pan and music camp. This initiative caters for children from age 7 to 15, and it's intended, of course, to engage and foster and promote the learning process through the medium of structured and meaningful play. The pan and music camps commence on Monday, 6th July, and ends on Thursday, 30th July, from 8:30 a.m. to 3 p.m. daily. The 4 pan camps will be located at TNTech New Eastside Dimension Pan Theatre in Belgarden, Our Boys Pan Theatre, 4th Street in Scarborough, Mason Hall Government Secondary School, and Bonaccord Government School. The students who participate in the pan music camp will be instructed in the pan camp will be instructed in steel pan playing, basic music literacy, steel pan history, and ethics. The music camps will be held at Scarborough Methodist and Roxborough Anglican School. The persons who participate in this camp will, of course, learn basic music literacy, the playing of the guitar, the violin, the recorder, the quattro, the African rhythm drum, and folk singing. Both camps will also have guidance and counseling sessions treating with conflict resolution, self-esteem, personal hygiene, lifestyle, and music career guidance. All right, the camp will end with a grand achievement concert on Thursday, the 30th of July. We will also have, for the first time, an ICT camp that will be hosted, of course, at the new Scarborough Library facility in conjunction with the Library Services Department. The title of this camp is the Big Game Building Session, and it's an ICT camp for children from ages 6 to 11. This initiative is intended to foster and promote the use of IT and interaction among our children. The camp commences on July 13th and runs until August 21st. And then it runs 9 a.m. to 12 p.m. daily at the Children's Computer Room at the New Scarborough Library facility. The library services will also have a number of camps at their 3 locations across the island: Scarborough, Roxborough, and Charlottesville. These camps will cater for children from age 6 to 17. At Scarborough, there will be craft and storytelling. There will also be sessions on learn how to save. There will also be sessions in game building and drama. Performing arts. There will be sessions on road safety, sessions on dining etiquette and common courtesies, and of course sessions also on the rights of the child. At Roxborough, which runs from the 4th to the 13th, there will be sessions on craft, create your own bling, and also on video games, game building. At Charlottesville, which runs from the 4th to the 13th, 9 a.m. to 12 noon daily, there will also be sessions on craft, creative urban, and also on storytelling. All right, I also would like, lastly, I guess, to announce a planning session that the division, a 2-day planning session that the division and then serve with our primary and secondary school principals. This session is scheduled for Monday, the 5th and Tuesday, the 6th July. And essentially, the focus of this planning session is to review our performance as a division for academic 2014-2015 and to plan particularly for academic 2015-2016. The focus of the plan, of course, this planning would involve a review and establishing a strong and effective curriculum development and how that functions to ensure a safe and dynamic learning environment, and how we ensure that our schools that are within the communities are defined as safe and promote learning. Developing teachers for the 21st century to, of course, reduce the inequities or barriers across the education divide, to strengthen our student support services, to strengthen our school-based management initiatives, to enhance, of course, our HR procedure and ensure that our relationships between all our stakeholders is at an optimum level, and, of course, to review our research and our M&E strategies as a division. Essentially, what we would, or the focus of this 2-day planning is to ensure that we develop strategies that are gender specific as we look at performance, that are school specific, that are subject specific. We recognize that as a division we are making tremendous strides in a number of areas, but we also recognize that in some areas there still needs for improvement. We also recognize as it relates to issues of health and safety, HR issues, there are things that we need to work on. And this 2-day meeting is an opportunity for us to engage our principals and senior teachers and, of course, the staff in the division with a review to taking a good look at ourselves and to determine come September 2015 that we can go forward with even more sustained approach as we seek to develop the young people on our island.
The month of July is officially Heritage Month, and we are prepared to launch on July 16th at the Shore Park Cultural Complex. It is going to be a spectacular gala event, given the fact that this is the first year that we will be returning to the Shore Park Complex to host our heritage activities. The Heritage, we all know, runs for the 2-week festival up until August 1st. And after August 1st until November, we will have the year-round experience, which this year is in its second term, and therefore we look forward to an improvement in the product throughout the villages. We usually have about 22 villages involved throughout the whole experience. We had one additional village last year getting involved. And therefore, we look forward to an exciting time from July 16th to August 1st, and then from August 1st to throughout November. The Heritage this year, well, perhaps I should explain that the Heritage last year, a total of 13 million was approved by the Tobago House, by the Executive Council of the Tobago House of Assembly. And the Tobago Festivals Commission, they were able to come in at about 12.5 million, which means that they went about 500,000 under budget. I commend them for that. And therefore this year, given the fact that we would not have to have the external infrastructure, and that we are indeed going into the Shore Park complex, along with some other systems that they have been put in place to lend a more predictable outcome to recruitment and performances, and also procurement, the Executive Council would have approved a budget this year of $12 million. I know that a lot of activities are underway in terms of the preparation for the events throughout the next 2 weeks in the first instance. And therefore, I take this opportunity to invite all of our viewing audience to come join us for the Heritage Experience beginning on July 16th. I know that we are well past the carnival period, but I would have just been informed that the carnival activities for 2015, they also came within budget of the $12 million that was approved. I want to go to another topic where I actually would like to read to you. This is concerning the industrial court matter between the Public Services Association of Trinidad and Tobago and Sharon Phillips versus the defendant, the Tobago House of Assembly, and myself, Dr. Denise Sawyer-Fat Angus. What I have in front of me is a notice of discontinuance. And it says, take note that the complainant number 1 and complainant number 2 hereby wholly discontinue their application herein. This is dated 22nd of June 2015. I also want to read in another matter, in the matter of the Occupational Safety and Health Act of 2004 as amended, again between Sharon Phillips, the Public Services Association of Trinidad and Tobago as the complainants, and the Tobago House of Assembly and myself. Take note that the complainant number 1 and number 2 hereby wholly discontinue their OSHA complaint herein. And what this is that a notice of discontinuance is usually filed when the complainant realizes that he or she no longer wishes to sustain the action before the court. And this, among the reasons, could be that the person did not have jurisdiction in the case. So that is one area that we will put to rest between the Public Service Association and also the Tobago House of Assembly. However, we still have the outstanding matter of the move to the new office space of the Division of Community Development and Culture, and I report that works are continuing there. TNTech, they were actually on site yesterday to convert from the generator to the grid. However, the rain interrupted their activities, and I'm told that they would restart today, and hopefully by the end of the week they will have that changeover completed. We do have the WASA certificate of approval in hand, and I'm told that most of the OSHA issues will be resolved very shortly. I would like to join my colleague, the Secretary of Education, Youth Affairs and Sport, in commending all the students out there for their hard work, and that their hard work would have paid off, and therefore I want to congratulate all of them for whatever results that they would have received in the C exam. I know all of them are moving on to various levels of schools, and therefore I want to urge them to continue the hard work. The journey is now starting, the next leg of the journey, and therefore we want you to continue the hard work and continue to make all of Tobago proud. In fact, I would have had the opportunity to interact with about 25 boys and 40 girls who would have just completed the C exam as part of our macho program for boys, and also the Girls Talk program for the young ladies. And this is to really begin to influence their mindset in a positive way, preparing them for going into the secondary school, having them be conscious about their health and well-being and some of the guidelines that they should be thinking about in that area, their sexuality and also image and spirituality. So all these were part of our Girls Talk and our Macho program for the boys, and these went very well recently. Also to report that the I Am Woman program, which normally would be an empowerment program for women throughout the communities based on, having them understand better about their health, about their finances and financial management. This year took a different turn where we brought in a motivational speaker because we felt after 3 years of doing a program empowering women with, how to take care of their finances, looking at their health and spirituality, that perhaps we should take the next step. And we brought in a motivational speaker, Reverend Williams, usually on 98.1, and she spoke to over 100 women who were in the space that day. And it was quite encouraging to see the attention paid to the speaker, but even more so to listen to the testimonies of 4 young women, should I say 3 young women, who have begun to step out into their own businesses. One who actually left quite a good paying Tobago House of Assembly job to go into the private sector to manage her own business. And also another who is contemplating leaving her job and has a thriving business. And some of these persons were actually part of the vocational skills training program that we have had throughout the years, that we just re-engineered and increased the number of classes and the variety of classes in order to make sure that we are meeting the needs of the community. And therefore, I want to commend those women who came forward and shared their testimonies and hopefully inspire other women to step out in a similar direction. The vocational skills training class I speak of is currently ongoing. I believe we have about 300 registrants into 46 classes across 28 communities. And that program should, I believe, end sometime at the end of September. We also have the capacity building workshop that is currently ongoing, and this is going a little further than just teaching persons about their craft. Now that you've had your craft, you're part of an organization, you're part of an NGO, you're part of village councils. We now have the capacity building workshop that teaches you about leadership, again, financial management, accountability, transparency, and relationship interactions. And that is currently ongoing at this point. I would also like to mention that we do have the Cool Kids Camp that would be starting quite shortly. And that has been ongoing for years this year. And it is a camp that is based mainly on craft, teaching the kids the usual craft that we have, learning to make things, learning to recycle products and put it to good use. We also have a new camp beginning in August, the Heritage Camp, that will be mainly culture-based. And that one will begin in August.
I know this year, for the past 3 years, we have been having a trilogy with respect to the Tobago Heritage Festival. What can patrons expect this year at the new Shaw Park facility?
This is the 3rd year, and the theme is Community Treasures Recognition. And it is really timely that it is in the third year that we are actually returning to our roots, because certainly the Shore Park complex is where the Heritage Festival would have started, and so in recognition of our heritage, we are returning to that place where it first started. There's also a great recognition that will be paid to our elders. This Friday, there will be the recycled event, the pre-show to the Miss Heritage Personality Show that is being held at the Gulf City Mall. And you know, that to me is one of the shows that I consider dear to my heart, because we have asked the 11 contestants, 11 of them we will have this year, to go into their communities and find the persons, you know, who they consider to be the icons in their communities, and for them to appreciate that those are the persons whose shoulders they stand on at this time, and to be able to show them some appreciation and recognize them for what they have done in paving the way for them and others. So those are some of the activities that you will see happening based on the theme of recognition, looking for community treasures and certainly recognizing them.
In terms of the work that is being done to the building that you currently occupy, the Division of Community Development and Culture's new facility, how has the, I don't want to say stunted, but how has the hours that the division has been working at, how has it affected the performance of the division for the period that has elapsed already?
Well, it certainly has been very difficult. And I really have to applaud members of staff, because they get the work done. There are some days they may leave after the 4 hours, 8 to 12, but there are some days if they have to get the work done, they will stay 6 hours, 8 hours, and sometimes beyond. And I really have to commend my staff and thank them for putting others before themselves and understanding that we are all here in service to the people. And even though we will be careful and mindful with what needs to be done, at the end of the day, we want to make sure that we still continue to serve the people, and I think they have done that quite well.
In terms of repairs, we know that school is about to close. Mm-hmm. Could you tell us the number of schools that will be under repairs, the amount of monies that will be allocated towards these repairs, and also school security?
Well, in terms of our repair program for 2015, for July, August 2015, we undertook a new process in this financial year where we had 3 firms, independent firms, review, assess the schools and submit reports to us. And this was a view trying to ensure that our process was a little more transparent. There have been concerns over the years about the fact that staff of the division do the assessment, staff of the division then evaluate the work, staff of the division then supervise the contractor. So we have begun to review our process, and that would have involved this year, as I said, these 3 firms being given clusters of schools. They would have gone to these schools and done an assessment. Their reports came in last week, and those reports would have been done in 2 formats. One, identify the works to be done in terms of cost, and identify the works to be done in terms of priority. We will, it is in the intention of the division now to go to the Executive Council next week with a view to identifying what works have been identified as priority, and therefore what works we intend to undertake for this July-August period, what it will cost, and therefore, and of course, included in that will be works related to safety, health and safety. We recently received, within the last week or 2, we recently received the reports from an assessment done by the fire services. And those are reports that we'll also want to take into consideration as it relates to things, because obviously traditionally our focus has been on repairs as it relates to maybe tiling and roofs and those kind of things. We have recognized there has been some gaps in terms of health and safety, fire equipment, exit and egress points, those kinds of things. So that is something that we'll be focused on this year. So as I said, that final decision on our school repair program for July and August has not yet been made, but will be announced at a subsequent press briefing.
Thank you for tuning in to another Tobago House of Assembly's Post-Executive Council media briefing for the week ending July 4th, 2015.